almost his birthday and still sound asleep. I sure wonder what he's dreaming about.
Hey mama, boy does it feel good! Hi everyone, welcome back to my English presentation. This isn't a gag, I'm literally going to talk about my life in a autobiography style. I don't have much to say no more. Let's start from where I can remember. I kind of remember some baby time spanning from the time I was in the womb, believe it or not. I think Vsauce talks about this. It's lightly dim enough to read a book, but me, I was just doom scrolling and shooting shots on IG. That's why... This is an English presentation. I should keep it brief and professional. I do remember my first days as well as a baby. My parents taking me to meet my extended family, specifically my grandparents. And you may think I have a photographic memory because of this, but nah, that's it. My memory's cut short here. It's really foggy now. As a kid, I grew up watching Ben 10 and Cars. I also watched Minions as well, but especially on Cars, I was a huge fan. The amount of money I made my parents spend on Cars, my grandma's house has this basement, and it's just filled with my toys. A lot of them were Cars. Unironically, English was my first language because of what I grew up watching. I learned my mother tongue, Albanian, through kindergarten. Speaking of, I met my childhood friends there. A lot of them stuck with me through high school. I played with them a lot in the neighborhood up to middle school. A thing that stuck with me ever since then was swings. There were times where hours on end, me and my grandfather would play on the swings. He would push me on them for hours on end. And core memories like this, just the wind blowing and silence, would bring me back to simpler times. After this, I would start elementary school, and in here I would meet Rron. Rron is definitely my oldest friend and my bestest. It's a really funny story how me and him met. It was this sort of beef. He had this cannonball pencil sharpener from Ben 10, and me being a fan, I just had to get it off his hands. During first grade, I was pretty much like this. I often refer to it as more monkey than human, and it was probably the doom scrolling, I'll be honest. I got normal after that grade. The second grade was pretty much open and close eyes. But there was this one thing. A few hours after summer break starts, then, I was wrestling with my kindergarten friends. Hold on. I was wrestling with my childhood friends and playing judo, and I got really hurt. My left eyebrow got cut open, and I was rushed to the ER, and I still have a scar because of what happened. Anyway, memory's cut short now. On to middle school. Around this time, the pandemic started. Me personally, I had it pretty sweet. I played Fortnite and Rocket League all day, and people had it way worse than me. Some people graduated like this. My sister had to do her first grade program on a Zoom call. And yeah, it sucked. I had it pretty good. Around this time, and even earlier on in 5th grade, I was growing out my hair. I wanted it to be the length of, our Reddit humor king, Moist Critical. And I was also fat. I genuinely do not know what I was thinking, but this lasted until the end of 7th grade. 7th grade is definitely the second worst or the worst grade to ever be in. The best days in 7th grade featured you getting crucified and brutally killed twice, your air fryer and PlayStation 5 being stolen thrice, and you're also gay. After that, the 8th and 9th grade were pretty bittersweet, I'd say. I socialized a lot back then. I got my confidence up, but I lost, my core self, who I was. and I almost lost that bond with Rron as well. One thing, and the only good thing that stuck, was this drive, this desire to play better games. And my baby steps were with Doom Eternal and the Dark Souls trilogy. I would go on to play 2016, the Dark Ages, more FPS shooters, and even more games. I don't remember all of them. Here's just a video of my libraries on both Steam and console, and they are an inspiration for not only my physical hobbies, but my music taste, art hobbies, and animations, way more. Hobbies, I forgot hobbies. So around 9th grade, I also started developing both my core hobbies. Among them, I got this interest to make weapons. I made a video about this, but my first baby was the Blades of Mercy that I did for a Halloween cosplay. And I would go on to make so much more. Here I brought to you a very small example, a mini-me. Now that I did mention the Blades of Mercy, this came from Bloodborne. I did this thing on Bloodborne, a challenge run, Bloodborne BL4, and I took my animation dream seriously back then. Why I mentioned this challenge run was because this was my first idea ever. My longest video as well, which took over a year to make on and off. I'll talk about the other hobbies in a moment, but now's not the time. After middle school, I had to take these 2 important tests. One I got the best marks in out of my class, and the other one not so much. I copied off the wrong person. Hold on. These marks were good enough to get into, what the hell did my art teacher write? Prestigious Regional Balkanic High School. Getting into 10th grade was a weird switch. I'm back into the afternoon schedule. I took computer and basketball courses beforehand, but now they're just gone. They're stopped because of this switch. And everyone is just so over their mind. The first day ever was a Friday. No point in even showing up. But the teacher I talked to, about this, made it seem like, oh yeah, you're in hell. Thanks, I guess. He ended up being my chemistry teacher for that year, and he was one of the nicest people, too. Damn. I don't like 10th grade. This or 7th grade are the worst ones. I hate how much life got shifted after this, bro. I mentioned a few already, but some other great examples. In 10th grade, I was in an entirely new class now. I even became captain of it briefly, but I stayed with an entirely different one. And I hate and regret it so much. And the best part? I wanted to work on a computer project for some big YouTuber. And even he knew and was more than glad to be mentioned and have fan projects about him. But I failed at the finale, at the climax. The courses were useless. No one taught this computer language, and everyone was just so useless about this. And even though none of it was my fault, it still very much felt like it was, and I had this guilt. The summer before 11th grade was great though. With the time given, I actually managed to rack up this channel while hanging out with friends and playing games. It was here I met some great online buddies I often refer to as brothers. But there was one thing, nothing could be perfect. Some cursed glasses. I don't know if it was to change my physical identity and start fresh, but they helped, and they were evil. They bled into the 11th grade and fortunately left soon after 2 months, I think. I showed you every photo, but not this one. Nada, no. That is not me, that is not ill, that is not circle, and it deserves to die. The 11th grade itself, though, was amazing. My best year ever, probably. It was hard, but I pushed. I adapted. And the part that made it so great were two of my friends that made an entire incredible friend group together. Enter Olivia and Adam. Together, we were an amazing trio, and everyone knew us. I wanted to spend the summer break with them, but...
Hey dude, wake up. You're gonna be late for work.
Thanks, dude. I'll be on my way there. I hate the summer, and I hear you saying, wow, this guy hates everything. Like, no, dude, that's not true, twin. I'm in love with gambling, but I had a job. That's not why I hate the summer, and I will not tell you why. On this period, I also uploaded animations again, covering story times from 10th grade as well, such as these two. The job was fine. I worked in retail in the bakery aisle. Here's a dirty little secret. Wash the bread you buy, because we do pick them off the ground. There were a lot of foreigners too. I would ask all of them where they're from to keep a record. Of course, I don't remember it anymore. I do remember having a full business week of solo shifts, 8-hour solo shifts. The morning, and sometimes I would have to wake up 7 hours later to clock in for my morning shifts. What great rest, guys. This was all to get my PC, which was totally worth it and is a monster. 12th grade, where everything goes down. The professors are at an all-time strict for no reason. At the same time, I need to spend hours in courses and libraries to get ready for college. Multiple mistakes and pointless drama made to waste precious time and nothing matters. And Adam and with Olivia are gone for good. I should have never trusted this class. I should have never trusted this class. Their class. I should have never trusted. There were some really sweet moments, though. I now know a whole lot better. I met more friends, both IRL that I go out with every now and again, and online bros I text with in class when stuff gets really boring. Rron is still legendary. There is Owen as well. I forgot to mention him. He's been around since 10th grade and is pretty epic as well. And between 5 people, a pumpkin was carved. That should be it, but it's not my end though. In the very near future, I'm preparing for college. I hopefully plan to get into medical school, so I won't be uploading again. This is just a one-off special. After that, I plan on some projects, both animations and secrets. And if I can, hopefully I get to see my friends and have a job, unlike last time.